और हमारी जानकारी में जो भी कोई ऐसी, जब भी कभी ऐसी बातचीत आती है कि कोई बदसलूकी हुई हो किसी के साथ, तो हम उस मामले को ज़रूर उठाते रहे हैं और आगे भी उठाएंगे, जो भी हमारी जानकारी में लाया जाएगा। और चौथी चीज़ जो विदेश मंत्री जी ने कही, जिसके बारे में उन्होंने ध्यान आकर्षित किया सदन का, वो था कि देखिए, एक तरह से मैं कहूँगा, असली कैंसर क्या है? असली कैंसर है जो इकोसिस्टम है इलीगल माइग्रेशन को प्रमोट करने का। ये जो गैंग्स का काम है, जो भोले भाले और मासूम लोगों को फुसला के बड़े बड़ी उनसे रकमें जमा करवा के उनको बाहर ले जाते हैं, और उसके बाद लोगों को ऐसे वापस आना पड़ता है, उनके खिलाफ कार्यवाही की आवश्यकता है, उनके खिलाफ एक्शन की ज़रूरत है। और इसके बारे में भी उन्होंने ध्यान आकर्षित किया लोगों को। इसके बारे में सरकार को आगे काम करना होगा। सो बेसिकली दैट इज़ माय अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ दीज इश्यूज। The description by the External Affairs Minister of the standard operating procedures relating to the use of restraints, which has been communicated to us by US authorities, including the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And you would recall that EM attracted attention to the fact that these have been in practice for a long period of time, at least since 2012. About flight procedures and flight clearances, etc. Again, there was no change from past procedure in this. On the issue of mistreatment, it's a valid issue to raise, and we continue to emphasize to US authorities that there should be no mistreatment of deportees. But this is a continuing exercise and conversation, and we will continue to take up any instances of mistreatment that come to our attention. And then, of course, the last point, which is that action needs to be taken across the system against the underlying ecosystem that thrives on promoting illegal immigration. I think Siddhant had a supplementary question on the SOPs of 2012 and whether there was a protest in it. No, I don't think there was any protest. We don't have any record of any protest having been made about it. Rishabh, on the AI summit and your reference to some other applications that have been developed and our attitude, look, I won't add to what other departments have already said, but we would like to pursue a positive agenda at the AI summit. As I pointed out in my opening remarks as well, our priorities and our concern is to ensure that AI is designed, developed, deployed, and used in a responsible manner, in a trustworthy manner, and in an ethical manner. We are also interested in ensuring equitable access to AI technology, to connected issues such as data protection and inclusivity, because technology such as this always runs the risk of perpetuating a digital divide that already exists across the world. So that is what we would like to focus on. Insofar as bilateral meetings in France are concerned, these are under preparation, and we'll update you as soon as they are fixed. Now, Seema's question on two issues. I think there are going to be more than two issues that are going to be placed. Well, I think it's difficult to say most important in a relationship that is as broad and deep and wide as it is. I think it would be difficult to come to just two issues that are important. I wouldn't want to sort of overemphasize one at the cost of the other. I think all of the issues are very, very important, and you're aware what the issues are. There's trade, there's investment, there's defense. To pick her most favorite child, I think these are all very, very important issues in the relationship. Thank you.
Can we go here? Yeshi? This is Yeshi Seli from Business India. I have two questions. One is, are there more flights of deportees likely to come from the US? And is US going to be sending its aircraft to send all of them back? And the second is, there is trouble in India's neighborhood in Bangladesh. There are protests, there are houses being burned down of the founder. And there is also a threat to the Indian High Commission. They've said that if Sheikh Hasina isn't deported back, we will target that. So is Prime Minister Modi likely to discuss Bangladesh when he goes to the US with President Trump?
No, Bangladesh.
Sachin.
Sachin from the Times of India. Foreign Secretary, following up on your remarks on deportation, just want to check with you if we have registered a formal protest with the Americans about the treatment which was given to our citizens. We saw Brazil doing that when the same thing was done with their citizens in the past few weeks. And my second question is if we are hopeful of reviving the trade negotiations which we saw under the first Trump administration for an agreement. Thank you.
Vishal.
सर, मैं विशाल पांडे हूँ एबीपी न्यूज़ से। मेरा सवाल ये है कि क्या कोई दूसरी लिस्ट भी अमेरिका की तरफ से सौंपी गई है जिन्हें हाल फिलहाल में डिपोर्ट किया जाना है? और दूसरा सवाल ये है कि क्या एलॉन मस्क प्रधानमंत्री से अमेरिका में मिलने वाले हैं?
We have Samira there. Yeah.
Samira Hussain from BBC News. In terms of deviation from previous deportation flights, what is new is the use of military planes to bring Indians back to country. I'm wondering if there was ever a consideration made by India to go and collect their own citizens instead of using a military plane like we saw with Colombia. And the second question is, the United States considers India as one among the top most uncooperative countries when it comes to repatriating their citizens. What promises is India, or concessions is India now willing to give to the United States?
Smita.
Foreign Secretary, just to follow up on the deportation issue, I think if there would be clarity, if you could give us data about when was the last time a military aircraft was used, when was the last time Indians were actually shackled on the aircraft, and has India's diplomatic response been much more muted and soft compared to other countries, given the upcoming trip and the meeting between Mr. Modi and Donald Trump? And just a quick reaction to President Trump's controversial statements on clearing up the Gaza Strip and driving off Palestinians. Has India taken a view of this statement and the plans that he has been proposing?
Again, I think a number of connected issues, but on more Yeshi's question on more flights and the kind of aircraft to be used. Look, you are aware that there are reports about illegal immigrants from various countries in different states in the United States, including from India. Their legal sort of position and status insofar as the US justice system is concerned is also been the subject of media reports. We have some information about the numbers that are there in the United States, and we are working with such numbers as are made available to us and that we are then able to confirm. I think it's important to note in this, and as a sort of a general response to some of the other questions also that have been posed, that this process of deportations is not new. This is something that the External Affairs Minister also emphasized in Parliament yesterday. It has been going on, and if you wish, I mean, the External Affairs Minister cited figures only from 2009, but he could actually have cited figures from before that as well, because those figures are also available. In fact, there are multiple categories of people returning from the United States. There are people who are returned and people who are removed from the United States. And the difference is on account of the judicial process or the official and legal processes that are applied to both. And it would be useful, many of these figures are available in the public domain, so you can look into these figures. But insofar as numbers of returnees, how many flights, obviously more flights will depend on the number of returnees that are confirmed as Indian citizens. It's hard to give an exact number because we can't confirm anybody as an Indian national until we check that. I think that goes to Samira's question as well. I would not accept the description of India as an uncooperative country. Any country in the world, if it is going to accept its nationals back, will want to have the assurance that whosoever is coming back is a bona fide citizen of India. There are issues of legality associated with it. There are issues of security associated with it. And therefore, we have been we have been in close communication with the United States on this matter. And as soon as information is provided to us, we do the due diligence on that, and then action follows. In recent conversations, this is just to share with you a sense of the numbers that we have reasonably greater insight into. In recent conversations, when we have sought details about potential returnees from the United States, we have been told that there are up to 487 presumed Indian citizens with final removal orders with the US authorities. We have sought details, and identifying details and particulars have been supplied to us with regard to 298 individuals. We received this a short while ago. We are checking on this, and we will revert to our US counterparts on these issues. About the others, we have not yet been provided details. Now, of course, many amongst you in this room will say that there are a lot of other numbers that are floating around out there. There may well be. But I can only give you a firm answer with regard to numbers when I can confirm that these are indeed Indian citizens. At that point in time, I can tell you that we have so many Indian citizens. There will be aircraft available with so much capacity. You can do the math on how many flights that will amount to. So we have been very transparent on this issue with our US counterparts. And I think, there was a question, I think Samira also raised this question on the use of military planes. This particular, especially the deportation that happened day before yesterday, is somewhat different compared to the earlier flights that have taken place and that have been taking place for many, many years, as you would be aware, is of a slightly different nature because in the US system itself, it was described as a national security operation. And that is perhaps one of the reasons why a military aircraft was used. Insofar as alternatives are concerned, we will consider any alternatives that would be feasible. Yeshi had another question on Bangladesh. You are aware of our statement that we have made recently with regard to the unfortunate incidents relating to the residence of Sheikh Mujib. We would also like to point out that the safety of diplomatic premises is the responsibility of the host government, and I have no doubt that the Bangladesh authorities are fully aware of their responsibilities in this regard. As to whether the issue will come up in discussions in Washington, D.C., I can't prejudge right now. There will be discussions on the regional and international situation. I would imagine this might be one of the issues that will come up. Sachin's question on, I think again it was related to deportation, formal protests. Yes, we have been in touch with US authorities on this issue on a continuing basis, and we have registered our concern with the US authorities on these matters. Reviving trade negotiations, again, I already pointed out that this is going to be one of the trade and investment issue is going to be a priority issue in the discussions between the two sides. I would again not prejudge the outcome of the discussions, but I'm sure that there will be very intense discussions on this issue. विशाल, आपका सवाल था और भी लिस्ट हैं, मैंने जवाब दे दिया है एक तरह से. जैसे जैसे हमारे पास सूचना आएगी हम उस पर काम करते जाएंगे और प्रधानमंत्री जी क्या एलॉन मस्क से मिलेंगे. बातचीत किन किन के साथ होती है, कैसे होती है, कब होती है, जब हमारे पास सूचना होगी तो मैं आपके साथ उसको ज़रूर शेयर करूँगा. I think Smita's question on the last time a military aircraft. I would probably need to go and check the last time a military aircraft was used. I don't have the information immediately. But on the other part, I answered in the earlier lot that the standard operating procedure that is known publicly and that was also shared by US authorities has been in practice since 2012. So I think that answers the question. On the Gaza Strip, you're aware of what our stand is on the issue of Palestine. It's a long-standing position. It has not changed. Yeah, maybe last round. Okay.
So, Huma, please.
Huma Siddiqui. I just you said that in France, the Prime Minister will also visit the site of thermal nuclear reactor. So would that mean that the civil nuclear reactors that we were talking about with France that has been delayed for a long time, will that be also discussed? And the same with the US. We have been talking about the nuclear reactors with the US. What happens to that?
Siddhant.
Hi, Foreign Secretary. I'm Siddhant from CNN News 18. Sir, I have two questions. One related to extradition of Tahabur Rana, because we've been told, as per the reports, that the final orders have come from US Supreme Court. So if you could shed some light on his extradition. And second, taking forward Huma ma'am's question, in the recent financial budget, it has been announced that there's going to be some amendments to the existing nuclear laws, and there's a target that has been set for the nuclear energy for India. Can we expect some big ticket announcements in France and US, both collaborations with the private sector for the small reactors, and also Jaitapur power plant? Will there be discussion on that? Thank you.
Firstly.
Foreign Secretary, you've said that all procedures that were used in the deportation, there's nothing new, it's followed. So I'm a little, I didn't understand. You said that we have registered our concerns with the US authorities. So what are those concerns regarding? And if I may ask, the Hindu has spoken and other newspapers have spoken to women who said that they were shackled. External Affairs Minister had said in Parliament that the US had said they would not shackle the women and children. And yet this seems to have been done. So my question is if that will specifically be part of India's protest with the US. And also the question of nationals who are coming here. As every national who comes on these flights, someone that India has accepted, since they are undocumented, do we accept undocumented Indian nationals from other countries? Like Mexico has often said that they try to send them to India and they're not been able to. So my question about whether each person who has landed in India, whether on a military plane or whether on any other plane, have they been verified by us before they're allowed to land? And just off the website of the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement, it has the procedures. It also says that there are 3 types of flights they use. They use charters, they use commercial air transportation, and they themselves have 12 planes that they operate as special high-risk charter flights. Those are for the real high-risk people. I don't think military flights have been used before. This is the first time, both according to our officials as well as theirs. So I did want to ask, the Colombian president said this is an undignified way of sending our citizens home. Does India consider the use of military planes as dignified?
Okay. Manish.
Foreign Secretary Manish Chand, India Rights Network. We are dealing with a famously transactional president. And ahead of the visit, he has in fact conveyed that he would like India to buy more oil, more weapons. What is our wish list? I mean, what are we looking as a form of trade-off? Thank you.
Last question, Shruti.
Thank you. Foreign Secretary Shruti Rajan from Bloomberg. Sir, on the discussions with President Macron and with President Trump, could you give us an understanding on the kind of nuclear reactors that what are the kind of discussions we are going to take, and especially with President Trump, what kind of discussions are we expecting to have on tariffs? Although we have signaled very clearly to President Trump.
Okay, there is a bunch of questions on nuclear cooperation. To Huma's question on the visit to ITER and its connection with the civilian nuclear cooperation program, two different things. ITER is about fusion energy. The civilian nuclear reactors are about fission, and different projects. ITER is a multinational project. The things that we are pursuing with France under the Jetapur thing is a bilateral thing. But notwithstanding that, on the Jetapur issue itself, as you are aware, it's a large project, a complex project. There are financial and technical issues associated with it. And in fact, we recently had between India and France a meeting of the Special Task Force on nuclear energy, where some of these issues were discussed. The two sides remain in touch. As I said, there are a number of technical and financial, as well as regulatory and liability-related issues that need to be sorted out. This is a continuing engagement. The associated question, I think Siddhant asked about the Civil Liability Act and the possible amendments to it. You've seen the announcement in the budget by the Honorable Finance Minister, where the possibility of an amendment in the Civil Liability Nuclear Damage Act was raised. The amendment is the prerogative of Parliament, so I won't get ahead of...
All right, the Foreign Secretary there referring to several questions on the deportation of Indian nationals from the United States. We'll bring you more details of that in a while.